Hey everyone, welcome to day 24 of the Winner Learn 25-day risk-taking experiment. I mean, we're not just on the home stretch, like we're rounding that corner. We are getting so close to day 25, and I've saved one of the best lessons for last. So this one is near and dear to me, weight, body, and value. And it's not like how much you are a pound, like, deli meat. Why would I even go there? No, this is weight, your body, how you see yourself, your physical being, and how you value you because you're incredible. And I want to remind you today because we're getting close to the end of this. And I want you to remember every day that you are worthy and deserving of anything you want and desire. And I mean that with all of me. So, this is an emotional lesson for me because this time in my life, this was rough. I look at this picture and I see a guy who's in a lot of pain. I see a guy who's loved. My brothers, this is one of my brothers, but both my brothers love me so much. My parents are so wonderful. But at this point in my life, oh man, those pants were so hard to put on. I remember putting those pants on. I remember the shoes. I remember that coat. I just remember feeling so uncomfortable in my skin. And I just wanted to feel better, but I didn't know how to do it. And I wanted to love myself, but I didn't even know what that meant. And I used food. Food was the thing that I would use to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. And then I would gain all this weight and I'd feel so much shame. And it was a cycle again and again and again. And it was predictable and it was safe and it was not healthy, and I wanted to make changes. So my mom was going to Weight Watchers, and my parents have always been really wonderful. They're never like they never comment on my body in a negative way. My mom, even when I showed her this picture before this lesson, I said, "Look at this picture," and she's like, "Oh, you were so cute," and I'm like, "There was a lot of me." She's like, you're so cute." That's a mom. Anyway, she was going to Weight Watchers. So I went with her to Weight Watchers. This is my Weight Watchers card. My weigh-in was August 6th in 1986. I was 13 years old. I weighed 157. I was in eighth grade. I went to Weight Watchers. It looks like I went for 6 weeks. On the sixth week, I gained a pound and 3/4 of a pound, 1 3/4 pound. That is not good. I started at 157 and I stopped at 140. I laughed because it was hard. I tried again and again and again and again and again. See, I was going to show you my after picture, but it's not an after picture. It's just me hanging out with the family again. And I really struggled with weight. And I went to Weight Watchers, I think probably 3 times at least, maybe 4 times, because I went later on. And Weight Watchers is nice because it provides a group experience, but there was something much deeper. When we want to create change, there's usually there's something at the core that's much deeper. This was never about food. This was about filling a void. When my friends, or at least my friends, I felt like such an outsider in high school. I didn't have a ton of friends. I had one friend who was really close to me, and I'm really grateful for him. But when people would go out on a Friday night, a lot of times I wasn't invited, or Saturday night, I'd buy like a big bag of Doritos and cheese sauce and peppers and a big thing of M&Ms, and that's how I filled the void. And I did this for several years. And I think at my peak, I was 192 pounds, 5 feet, no inches, right? There's just a lot of me to love. And I really struggled. And I remember I was ready. Because the thing is, to create change, you have to be ready. You can't just be like, oh, what will happen? No, you got to be like ready. Like, what do you want? What do you want to create change or experience? What are you going to commit to? What can you commit to? It has to be the right time, has to be the right place. You got to find the right people. And here's the thing. If you don't get what you want, it's not a loss. We're always learning. And when I look at this guy, I love who I am. I love who this guy was because it's made me who I am today. I don't look at this and go, oh, pain. I look at it and I say, I was dealing with a lot of pain, and I learned how to become friends with pain. And I learned what pain was, but it's helped me to be who I am today. So I reached out for help. Remember, it's always, what do you want? What makes you uncomfortable? People, places, patience. Reached out to my dad. This time he was hanging out with a couple of his friends, adult friends. We all went to the diet workshop together. And I was ready. I went to this place and I lost a lot of weight. And the thing is, it wasn't even the diet workshop because they were actually they were investigated by the FTC because they had charges of weight loss claims that were deceptive. But the thing is, I did get thin and I kept that weight off for a long time. This is my after picture. This is my junior year in high school. Can you believe that? I lost about 60 pounds from my freshman year in high school to my junior year. And really, it was about 18 months from my sophomore to junior year where I really committed. I would run, I ate a lot less, I worked out, and it was amazing. It was transformative. I have to include this picture because my dad said if I included the other picture, I had to include this one too. Everybody looks really nice there. But my parents, they've always been in my corner, and I'm so blessed and grateful to have them. But having them in my corner and losing this weight did not stop the shame. See, food was always a source of shame. It covered up the painful rejection that I was experiencing. And there was a link. And I've been working through a lot of this over the past several years, right? So many years later. See, the thing is, when we're younger and we have these scars and we have this pain, we can carry it with us for a very long time. We can carry it with us forever and we could avoid facing it. But what's beautiful about the win or learn framework and the universal rejection truth is that you can be imperfect and you can still be wonderful and worthy and deserving of love. You don't deserve shame. You deserve to feel joy. You do. You do not deserve shame. Nothing in your life should fuel your shame factory because you're a beautiful human being. You're a bright light. You're an incredible soul. And this has taken me a while to recognize. I've been working really hard to shut down my shame factory, and I hope Win or Learn will shut down yours too. Because once you shut down the shame factory, you are no longer craving the things that fuel your shame because you want love and light and joy. And here's the thing, it takes a while to retrain our brains because you got these neural pathways that develops for years and years. I'm still undoing it. There's so much shame and there's so much guilt. Right? It's even written on the label. These are from Trader Joe's. I love Trader Joe's, but like the reduced guilt chips, and they're lower in fat, so it's like I could eat more and not feel guilty. Like, why the hell is food associated with guilt? You know, food is fuel. It's not shame. And there was this whole era where everybody was focused on guilt free. You don't need to feel guilty. You don't. And especially when you adopt this framework and you have this mindset, it's like, I'm not going to feel shame. I'm not going to feel guilt. I'm just going to learn, right? So please, like, it's over. It's done. Food was a crutch. I used it to distract me from my real pain and discomfort. And I recognize that and I'm okay with that. And now when I eat, I ask myself, what am I really craving? See, I know if I eat a lot, I'm going to create shame, and that shame's going to distract me from the thing that I'm really worried about. And that awareness, that mindfulness changes the game because then if you have a craving, if there's something you want to do that's out of alignment with what you want, you can do things like change your breathing. Even 3 breaths, just being aware of your breath. 3 breaths can change how you look at the world and help you to breathe through, work through those cravings. It's amazing. There's so much mindfulness research now. So as you go through this and start to train, you're going to find more people and more places to help you to be able to create lasting lifestyle changes. This is an article from the New York Times. There's a doctor who did some research and talks about how yes, you can have long lasting weight loss, and it's about changing your habits and it's about changing your behaviors. And once we do that, then we set ourselves up to maintain a lifestyle that supports the things that we want. But it starts with changing those habits and creating new rituals. Charles Duhigg talks about habits and rituals and how Alcoholics Anonymous is so successful because when people who have addictions have cravings, instead of drinking, they substitute that behavior with meetings, with talking to their sponsor. And they do this on a regular basis and they get the same feeling. They get the joyful feeling, the good feeling, they get the high, but they get it in a different way. And it's the power of having your people, and it's the power of finding places so that when you change your behaviors, you will be supported and you will still feel that incredible thing that you're craving, that other thing would give you, and you substitute those behaviors. Then it's just having more habits and rituals. I use my Fitness Pal. I love my Fitness Pal. I don't love it actually. I find it annoying, but I love that every day I write down what I ate, and it helps you no matter what I ate. And if I ate something that wasn't so great, or if I have too many calories, I don't feel shame. I think, I need to be more careful, or why did I do that? And then I have my journal that I write in so I can express why I did what I did and what makes me uncomfortable. Then there's the miracle morning. Hal Elrod wrote this book. It's amazing, and it's a lot of creating rituals and habits. And I've mentioned this during our experiment, but the journaling part, I started it when I started to do the morning miracle, or the miracle morning. And you can do these things anytime. The exercise, the silence, the affirmations, the things in this book are so wonderful when you start practicing them. And it's been transformative. And what it does is it helps me to align with the joy and create that light so that I don't have to experience shame, because shame is boring. I want to get t-shirts. Shame is boring. Tell me if you'd like a shame is boring t-shirt. So physical goals are great because they transform you. When I ran the Chicago Marathon, oh man, it just shattered my whole my whole vision of myself, because I realized I could do anything. The training, I trained for 5 months and I ran that marathon and I finished it in 5.5 hours. And I was so proud. I did it. I did it. And when you do these things, oh man, your whole life changes. So I encourage you to pick some physical goals. Even if you're happy where you are physically, just pick them. It's so much fun. And the other thing is, do it with people, virtually or physically. Orange Theory is a place that I used to go to. I loved Orange Theory. And then I would go to Fit Body Boot Camp before that. And I'd work out with all these people, and it was a group experience. And it was so powerful to go through this with other people. And now I like Peloton because I get to have relationships with friends that are doing this, and you could ride with people, and there's a whole community, and then the trainers. And there are so many places now where we can do this wherever we are, through apps, through Peloton, biking and running and whatever is in rowing. So I really encourage you to do this and to do it with other people, because there's power when you do it with other people. We don't need to do this alone. And then I've got these books that I love. These books have helped me to stay on the rails, to be able to reflect, to see the light and love and joy, and to be able to practice new rituals and create new habits. 10% Happier by Dan Harris. It's all about meditation. Dan was a total skeptic. He's like, meditation, this is ridiculous. This is like for hippies. And he had a anxiety attack and did research and saw that there's actual changes within your brain when you meditate. There's evidence that meditation is powerful and helps you in so many ways. And then there's a book, Meditation for Fidgety Skeptics. Dan Harris wrote that with Jeff Warren. That one's great too. There's also a 10% Happier app, which I love. There's some wonderful guided meditations. And then there's Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It by Kamal Ravikant. And it's such a simple idea. You need to be able to look in the mirror and say, I love myself. I love you. I love myself. I love myself. And you need to do that and believe it. And if you don't believe it at first, eventually you will believe it. And the power of now, being present, understanding that this is what we have. This is it. And what we have is beautiful and wonderful if you engage the senses and can express gratitude and appreciate all those things that you are and all those things that you have been, and appreciate that now, right now, is the gift of the moment. It is what we have. And it's so powerful and so wonderful. Your value is not a number on a scale. Your value is not a size on a label. Your value is something you were born with. It's something no one can ever take away. And when you commit to this process, when you can go after what you want, get comfortable with the uncomfortable, find your people and places and be patient. Tell your story as if it's already happened and celebrate, reflect, and repeat. You will see what I see and what I know about you is that you have so much value and you are deserving and worthy of everything you want. This change thing, it is a journey, and it is bumpy at times and it is unpredictable at times. And it's also beautiful. I love this picture. I love it. And the thing about this change, we're doing it together. And we're going to continue to do this. I'm going to be part of this community. I'm going to be part of this community as long as people want to be part of this community, this Win or Learn community. I'm going to go on Facebook and I'm going to be there and I'm going to respond to you because I'm on it too. I'm on it too. And I love having you in my corner. And I'm so grateful to be in your corner. So here's your assignment. What is the greatest obstacle you face when making physical changes? What part of the Win or Learn approach will you use to help you create lasting change? Share with me. You know how to do this. This isn't our first rodeo. I saw the sign that someone said, "This isn't my first rodeo." And someone's like, "Well, even if it's your second, you need a lot of rodeos to be a good rider at the rodeo." So whatever it is you want, commit to this process. We'll do it again and again and again and again and again until you get the results you desire. Share your answers in the Facebook group. You can find me on social media. I love communicating with you wherever you like to communicate. Also, I say this every lesson. If there's someone in your life that you think will appreciate any of these lessons, please share it with them. I'm so grateful to have you on this journey. I'm thrilled to be in your corner. And I am so excited to continue this conversation. Thanks, everyone.